Greetings, dear suckers. My name's Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. Last time, we went with our cousin to go get some drugs. I say that as a joke, but actually that might sort of be true. But there's certainly something weird going on with that anyways. Now we've got people to visit while we're waiting for Tabitha. This one in this particular stands out. Meet up with Isaacs. You probably have time to slip off and hear what Isaac has to say before Tabitha even knows that you're gone. You hold the bells on the door to the general store, quieting them while you make a silent exit. You find Isaacs smoking out by the dumpsters behind Winnie's Diner. Thought you weren't gonna show. Here I am. Listen, I don't have a lot of time to talk, especially with you. I put two and two together. I know you're related to the boss, and the other guys are all riled up. They're talking action. Action? Because I'm related to the boss? Or is this... If they saw me out here with you, they'd think I was some kind of scab. But none of them will listen to me. Especially now. They've all got bigger things to worry about than a single missing miner. I haven't forgotten about him though. Anything you want to know, just ask. So, Tabitha was dating an employee? Yeah, wasn't the first time either. I know some of the other fellows she dated. They said she was the coldest woman they'd ever met. Had a habit of dropping him a few months in before picking up the next poor son of a bitch who fell for her wiles. Her wiles, huh? What kind of wiles are we talking about from such a cold woman? Well, maybe that itself is the appeal. I guess us cold boys are pretty desperate. Yeah, that's also possibly true. They'd probably go chasing any tail that wags back at them. Especially when a woman of means like that approaches you. You never know if you're gonna be the one who lucks out and locks down that old family wealth. Guess Wayne wasn't lucky. You can say that again. Wayne's not missing. I keep running into him. But why wouldn't he come tell me he's alright? Well, I never said anything about that. Where is he staying? Why is he hiding from everybody? It just doesn't sound like him. Indeed. I'm not sure the man you think is Wayne is really him. Mayhap. I don't know what he is now, but he doesn't feel human. A day ago, I wouldn't have believed you, but I've seen some weird shit since getting off work last night. Is that right? Caught some kind of hairless monkey rifling through my trash, and I couldn't get this whispering out of my head last night. Ditchling, then. The whispering is probably also the ditchling. They have a tendency to do that. Alright. That's good. That's very good. That just means the ditchlings are interacting with more people, which is not good in and of itself, but the last thing we need is yet another. Well. You saw a ditchling. They're a bad omen. No shit. Sounds like something Johnson would run his mouth about. Who am I to question that, though? This whole town's going to hell. Yeah? It's going to heaven compared to what's to come. The woods are infested with those things. First time I've seen one. Why would he be following me? Damned if I know. I didn't even know you existed until yesterday. Maybe I didn't. I suppose Tabitha could have told him about you. So maybe he's trying to get to someone close to his ex? Seems like a pathetic move to me, but relationships change people. Maybe even a man like Wayne can be broken by someone like her. What was he like? He was a lighthearted kind of guy, always joking around on the job. You never know with that kind of person. Who knows what they could be concealing beneath that sort of thing. I'm not going to say facade, because that would imply that it's fake, which it usually isn't. But that doesn't mean it's not concealing something. Amazing fella to grab beers with. Not keen on doing hard work, so it wasn't too strange when he barely picked up any shifts once that relationship started. Man after my own heart. I'm sure he saw her as a bit of a meal ticket, so maybe he wasn't too smart. But he was a good friend. And he was a good friend. Closest one I had. Did anything happen to him at the mines? Find any weird stuff? Uncover anything that wasn't meant to be uncovered? No, I don't think so. The few shifts he was picking up were all above ground, mostly operating machinery. Pretty cushy stuff, to be honest. Do you think Tabitha did something to him? Yes, I do. That, or maybe Pearl Ann. Was Pearl Ann the type to do things? Do you think? I don't know what it would be, but something happened up at that house. The week it went down, everyone was so up in arms about Miss Pearl Ann's death, almost nobody cared about the fact that some transplant miner had gone missing. It happened around the same time, did it? How close together did it happen? Did anyone think there might be a connection? What, like he had something to do with her death? No, absolutely not. Think broader. Heard it was natural causes. Died in her sleep. She was old, and a smoker. Figured her lungs finally gave up on her. If anybody did anything, it was that family doing something to him. Maybe. But that doesn't exactly rule out it being connected. Just means the causal arrows would go the other way. Of course, there is another hypothesis. If one didn't cause the other, what about a common cause? This is... What do you know about Pearl Ann? Not much. I know she died in her sleep. It was all anyone could talk about until yesterday. Now we've got new problems. Nobody has any time to worry about Wayne. Do you know how Pearl Ann died? Heard it was natural causes. Died in her sleep. She was old and a smoker. Figured her lungs finally gave up on her. So all you have is assumptions then. Supposedly she died in her sleep. Supposedly with natural causes. Supposedly something to do with her being a smoker, but... Who would actually know the cause of death? Tabitha, probably. But, well, Tabitha is Tabitha. Who else? Who else indeed? Do you have any theories? I figured he was dead. I guess I'm not so sure now that you say you've seen him. But, sure. You could say I got a couple of theories. Maybe Tabitha tried to break it off, he didn't take it well, and it ended in him getting offed. Or an ex of hers got involved and offed him out of jealousy. Could be he stole his jacket, and that's who you've been seeing. I just hope he's wandering around like you say. But I'm not convinced. Could also be that his odd behavior is a result of brain damage from an altercation. Or some such. What kind of action are people talking? Hopefully not anything involving me. Isaac glances around nervously. They're talking about a strike, but you didn't hear it from me. Okay. Just action against Tabitha then, alright. This is certainly an inauspicious time for such action. But then again, these are inauspicious times. Isaac sighs, taking one last long drag of his cigarette. Why is it called a drag, anyway? I appreciate you coming by to talk. I can't say I'm happy with what you told me, but I'm glad someone is looking into this. Seems like everybody else was perfectly happy to sweep it under the rug. Yeah, they'll do that. Good on you for caring enough, anyway. Isaac tosses his cigarette butt. When it comes to politics, individual people, and just sanity in general, can all too easily wind up swept away. It goes without saying that you better not go telling anyone we talked. And if you see him, or whoever it is pretending to be him, tell him his buddy is worried about him, alright? Alright. I'll try. Isaac heads back inside, and you find yourself alone again. Text your cousin and warn her about the strike. Oh, I'm not brave enough for politics. Plus, this might interfere with our cousin bonding time. Then again, having to deal with a surprise strike in the middle of all of this mess would not exactly be fun. I certainly wouldn't want to have to deal with that. Well, either way, if we are going to tell her about it, we should probably do it in person and not via text message. Let's slip back to the general store to find my cousin. I'm certainly not going to ditch her to go bugger around with those bozos. You make it to the entrance of the general store just as a furious Tabitha leaves. Ah, goddammit. Oh, there you are. I thought you'd run off again. What were you doing? Waiting for you to be done, obviously. You know what? I think I am going to tell her about the strike. That's the ultimate mic drop to her being crabby about about her thinking that I'd run off. Actually, I was out there getting forewarning about a strike for you. You're welcome. Are you serious? On top of everything else I have to deal with. Who told you? My sources are confidential. If you want good info, they'll stay that way. Yeah, I'm no fucking snitch. Fine, fine. Thank you for telling me, Joe Bob. It's good to know your loyalty lies with your family. Hey man, I know how much it fucking sucks to have a strike sprung on you out of nowhere. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. This is gonna be hell, but at least now I know it's coming. That's what she said. I can start looking into temporary workers tonight. And maybe some negotiators. I was hoping we get to spend a little time together this morning, but I have to stay ahead of this. I'll see you after work. Ah. Stay out of trouble. Your cousin rushes off to her car, and you're once more alone with the rest of your day ahead of you. Ah, man. I wonder if I can tell her after hanging out with her. Or she'll be upset about that. You were taking forever, and I was stuck in there with Miles. I wanted to stretch my legs out. Ugh, fair enough. At least you're still here. I've got a couple hours to spare. I'll pick us up some sodas and we can get out of here. I don't like lingering where just anyone could walk up and start talking to me. Fair enough, I suppose. Small town problems. Tabitha starts walking, motioning for you to follow. Follow her. Too bad I can't go with her to help her deal with the strike. Tabitha stops in front of a small house on the quiet hill just off Main Street. The Scarlets own most of the houses out here. We rent them out to employees. Just more convenient, you know? And I thought the estate was your secret lair. And here I thought company towns died out a century ago. It's just easier this way. Now come on, let's make ourselves scarce before we're spotted. Yeah, that's a bit of an exaggeration. Company towns are very much a closed ecosystem, so to speak. Your cousin pulls out a heavy set of keys from her pockets. She picks out one marked with a bright strip of green tape and unlocks the door. Come on in. Don't worry, it's empty. You follow your cousin into the model home. We haven't rented this one out for years. I came here to get away from it all. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a vacation home, but I don't have to travel. Anyway, make yourself comfortable and have a soda. Tabitha hands you a cream soda before settling in on the couch. Though the place is clean and tidy and full of all the trappings of life, you know it's an illusion. It may look like a place where a family lives and feels joy, but there is no soul here, only the dream of one. Whatever the fuck that means. Speaking of soul, are you coming ghost hunting with us tonight? Is that actually happening? Hey, we gotta do something about Oscar's whole deal. Maybe we'll find a ghost, maybe we won't. But one way or another, gotta deal with that shit, you know? Stella will be there. But so will Kanika. I doubt she'd be thrilled to see me again. But there's no point arguing with you. If you're gonna get up to any paranormal stuff, I better be there to save your skin if it gets hairy. Exactly, Tabby girl. After all, I can't very well be left alone by myself. Who knows what trouble I'll get into. Count me in. Okay. Glad to hear it, Tabitha. Wouldn't be the same without you. Is the estate stifling to you? Is that why you come here? Tabitha sips her soda, her expression suddenly heavy. I guess the estate has a lot of history. This place is so new by comparison. It's like the estate is full of ghosts, pressing down on me all the time, pressuring me to do what they want. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Well, more or less. When I'm here, I can imagine a life where I don't have to think about the 200 years of history resting on my shoulders. I can imagine just living as a bank teller or something. Having a simple life. If there's such a thing. Do you like living here? It's the only thing I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. But you don't need to have lived somewhere else to know if you like it here. I respectfully disagree. Everything in life requires context to properly understand. And I don't have context here. You don't need context to know if you like living somewhere. Are you happy? Generally? No, I'm not. But I'm happy you're here. Thanks. Maybe if I wasn't constantly nearly dying, I could say the same. Well, not you being here, but I mean me being here, you know. Do you actually like running the mines? Of course not, but that doesn't really matter. I've had years of Perland drilling that into my head. I guess most people probably aren't blessed with being able to actually like their work. I can't trust anyone else to do my job, and if I don't do it, this entire town falls to ruin. It's my burden to bear. You ever wondered if maybe the town should fall to ruin? Though I'd be lying if I said I haven't thought about running off. You could always just give the mines to me, like a trading places sort of thing. Who cares if the town falls to ruin? Why is that your responsibility? It's my responsibility because that's the way the chips fell. If you're trying to say that it's not fair that the town is my responsibility, sure, that's not inaccurate. But life doesn't care about fairness. Yeah, you're telling me. If I were to just leave and the town collapsed without me, wouldn't that be unfair to everyone who's come to depend on our family? If an entire community depends on a single person to survive, maybe that community shouldn't exist. You know that's bullshit. Tabitha quietly takes another sip of her soda. A lot of people live here. They can figure things out without you. You don't know this place as well as I do. You've given this a lot of thought, haven't you? I have. You're right. I know. You could always just give the mines to me, like a trading places sort of thing. A cute sentiment, but no. I wouldn't wish this job on my worst enemy. Huh, fair enough. And here I thought you were gonna say something about the whole place falling to ruins if I were to take charge for one day. And your family. Fair enough. What if I moved here after everything's said and done? I could help around the mines. I don't think you would want to do that. Nobody should want to do that. This task is my burden, and I intend to keep it that way. Noble, I suppose. That is, if there's still a Scarlet Hollow to even move to. Again with the supernatural doom and gloom. There will always be a Scarlet Hollow. That right. You should just leave. Running doesn't solve anything. There are some problems that need to be faced sooner or later. You'd be surprised how much running can change. Things are bad everywhere. Probably isn't much worse here than it is out there. Fair enough. Everyone has their burdens to bear, whether they're in charge of a coal mine or whatever it is you do. I'm sorry you never got a chance to live your own life. It's fine. Not many people get that opportunity. I mean, do you truly live your own life? Or do you live a life chained by obligations to other people, who in turn live their lives, which are bound by yet another set of chains? Maybe. That gets into some weird philosophical grounds, though, doesn't it? On and on it goes. Nobody is free. I guess that just depends on how you define freedom. Maybe it's not a concept that makes any sense at all. Or maybe it's just a gradient. Maybe it's a sliding scale, so to speak. Maybe no one's fully free, but there are degrees. Or maybe it's not a matter of degrees, maybe it's not something so simple, maybe it's just a lot of individual little freedoms, each of which are on their own sort of sliding scale, each of which are on their own little gradient, none of which are really equal to each other, but then, again, this is getting into some weird philosophical grounds. What would you want to do if you weren't here? Honestly, I wasn't joking when I said I could imagine living as a bank teller. My entire life has been defined by my obligations. I'd like nothing more than to go somewhere, do a task, and go home. Not that it matters. I am here, and my life is defined by those obligations. Dreaming about some other life only makes the one I have more difficult. I don't know about that. Either way, Tabitha, you've got a wonderful dream. Maybe someday, things will change. Maybe. Can we try some of that tea you picked up? It smells nice. Nope, it's a sleepy time tea. You don't want to drink it in the middle of the day. Is that right? I don't even know if she's telling the truth or not. It might be a deflection, or perhaps that's exactly what she's planning on using it for, in a manner of speaking. Keeping something sleepy. Do you ever travel? Do you ever get to travel? I saw your blowing rock mug. My what? Oh, that must be one of Janie's. She was always saying we didn't have enough cups. There are 3 cups. That's plenty. One for me, one for Pearl Ann, and one for the occasional guest. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. How many cups do you really need? I myself only have a couple more than that. And that's mainly just because, well, but Janie said her husband has a ton of dumb little souvenir mugs from his travels. Not that I asked. She just tells me stuff about her family. Chatty, is she? That does sound potentially irritating. Anyways, she said they have mugs to spare, as if I needed her charity. I guess she must have snuck a few in under my nose. I'll have to remember to toss it when I get back. Anyways, to answer your question, no, I don't travel. Too much to do. Sure, I'd like to see the Outer Banks one day, but I'm the head of the company. It's not like anyone can cover for me. It sounds like you really could use someone to cover for you, though. Someone that you can teach to manage the company at least a basic level so that you could, you know, ever take some time off. I don't know who you would have do that, though. Maybe Kanika! Because of all that talk about you seeing yourself in her. I don't know if she'd be suited to that, though. Small town woes, eh? Maybe when I retire, if that ever happens. Maybe. Janie seems like a busybody. That's not an inaccurate description, I don't think. Right? I only hire her to clean, but she keeps insisting on talking to me and micromanaging the way I run the household. The number of cups we have is none of her business. And I definitely don't need to know about what her family did over the weekend, or what cute thing her kids said, or how much she loves her wet napkin of a husband. You live in a massive mansion but only have 3 cups? What? I fail to see the relation there. It's not like she really uses most of that mansion anyway. It'd be the same with having more cups. Unless she was having multiple visitors over, I guess. Pearl Ann was a monster. That seems a little out of nowhere. Amen to that. You've never left Scarlet Hollow? You act like it's weird. Traveling is difficult and stressful. I've seen vacation movies. Something always goes wrong. I believe that's what we call the fallacy of generalizing from fictional evidence, but anyway. So even if I had a day off, why would I want to spend it driving somewhere when I could spend it actually relaxing? Fair enough, I suppose. Although some people find driving relaxing itself, but I don't need to see some windy rock or even the beach. just doesn't seem worth all the hassle. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe when this week is over, we can go to the beach together. Yeah, maybe. I think I'd like that. You know what? That smile looks really good on you. I took a peek into the older part of the estate. Our family used to be a lot bigger. Is it perhaps a risk to admit this, but let's see where this goes. You what? Unbelievable. I specifically told you not to go in there. Does the word danger mean nothing to you? Yeah, see, this is what I was worried about. Actually, I take that back. I very much believe you went in there. You constantly do things that you shouldn't. It's part of my charm. I'm glad you've at least started letting me in on your little plans. But I digress. There used to be a lot more Scarlets, but now it's just us. What was Pearl Ann like? A monster, apparently. Yeah. Okay, I guess you should know at least some things about the woman whose funeral you'll be attending. She was my mother. She was your mom's twin sister. Fraternal. They didn't look alike. Same with their personalities. Night and day, from what I've heard. Pearl Ann was a hard ass, but that comes with the territory. I mean, what else do you want to know? How did she die? Yes, that is the question of the hour, isn't it? Sleep apnea. That right. Well, smoking is a known cause of sleep apnea, and it does increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes and such. Sometimes even just sudden cardiac death, which is not the same as a heart attack, by the way. Heart attack is something that happens when the blood flow to the heart is blocked, essentially. Whereas sudden cardiac arrest, it just suddenly stops beating. Anyway, did you two get along? No. That woman was a monster. That right. Guess we'll just be leaving it at that, then. What was your dad like? Haven't really talked about her dad at all, have we? Don't know. He just up and left one day. Didn't want anything to do with us anymore, I guess. Left or vanished. They never got divorced, just separated. He probably couldn't be bothered to fill out any paperwork, especially considering he would lose any and all claim to the Scarlet fortune if they divorced. And he'd have to pay child support for a kid he couldn't be bothered to call on her birthday. Does no one in this town have two parents? Janie's kid does. For now. But this town will take its toll on her eventually. That right. Hooray! Another member of the Deadbeat Dads Club. The Scarlet women are just too strong for most men. Our moms were better off without them, I'm sure. I'm sorry. It must have been really hard for you. I don't really think about it. If he didn't want anything to do with me, his loss. Guess so. Sounds like he was a real loser. That's what Pearl Ann always said. I just don't really think about him anymore. If he didn't want anything to do with me, his loss. I can't believe we're actually hanging out. What's that supposed to mean? I can. It's why you came all the way down here, isn't it? Still, the two of us are more alike than I thought we'd be. It must be in our blood. Ha ha ha. Maybe. Or maybe it's just happenstance. What kind of things did Pearland tell you about me and my mom? All sorts of terrible things. She loved to talk about how destitute your mother was after leaving for Citytownville. That comes up infrequently enough that my first impression upon seeing it mentioned is always just, oh, they're making a joke here. But no, it's actually what the place is called. You were always a poor student and troublemaker, constantly getting taken in by whatever terrible counterculture of the week was hip and trendy in the city. For what it's worth, I don't think any of it was true. Well, except for you being a troublemaker. Fair enough. What do you really think of me? You're better than asking me for validation, I'll say that much. You're a better person than you let on. I'm not a good person, Joe Bob. Interesting response. I'm really glad I came up here. Tabitha pauses as she takes a long, contemplative swig of her soda. Yeah. Also an interesting response. I'm supposed to have dinner at Reese's place. Do you know him? Reese? Oh yeah. The dude that used to hang out with Kanika and Stella. I kind of remember him. Quiet, smelled kind of weird. Stopped coming to school at one point. I guess he got sick or something? I know his mom better than I know him. She's been everybody's doctor for as long as I can remember. She's intimidating. I've always liked her. Yeah, I suppose you would. She would probably be the one who examined Pearland after her death, wouldn't she? Something to think about. Guess that's not hereditary, though. Reese always seemed like a bit of a wet blanket to me. That right. I've gotta know, what's the deal with you and Stella? We were close in high school. Really, really close. How close? We'd have sleepovers a few nights a week, spend all night watching monster movies and eating chips, and... Anyway, Pearland didn't like her. I'd always have to lie and say I was going over to her place to study. When we graduated, it was impossible to see her anymore. There were no more excuses to go study, and I was too busy learning the ropes at the mine. Pearland made sure my every waking minute was occupied. I didn't have time for friends. Do you now? Or are you still carrying that with you? But I never needed friends before meeting Stella, so it was easy enough to slip back into that mindset and try to move on. Yeah, I think I know exactly what you mean, Tabitha. Are you afraid that you still have feelings for her? Why else would you work so hard to keep her at arm's length? Are you two exes? This sounds like an old novel about two very good female friends. My traits are making a lot of assumptions here. Or in this case, insinuations. No. Do you remember that one time in that one previous episode of this that I mentioned, oh, all of these options seem really good? Yeah, that's not this. Most of these options, especially the trait ones, seem kind of obnoxious, to be quite honest. No, kind of nothing. Let's just not be that guy, alright? You should hang out with her again. It's not like Pearl Ann can stop you. And she misses you. Tabitha takes another sip of her cream soda, avoiding eye contact. I guess there isn't anything standing between us anymore. That hadn't really occurred to me yet. I don't think she'd like me now. A lot has changed. I haven't been very kind to her. I don't think I can fix that. No, you can't. But no, you can't. You can't change the past. Just the future. Still, it'd be nice to try. You catch the hint of a smile at the edge of her lips before she tamps it back down into her trademark scowl. Do you want me to try and get you in with Kanika? Please, if she's anything like me, that would only make her hate me more. I have dignity, Joe Bob. Fair enough. You had some harsh things to say about Oscar last night. Do you really believe what you said? I do. Some people shouldn't have kids. What do you think of Avery? Who? Avery. Works at the diner? Wears plant shirts? I have no idea who you're talking about. She has no idea who you're talking about. I gathered. Okay, fair enough. What's going on with Wayne? He's been following me. I think there's something wrong with him. Wayne? As in Sam Wayne? Oh! Now we're getting somewhere. I don't know who you think is following you, but it can't be him. Pearl Ann sent him packing. That right? Is that something she does often? Is that why your relationships last so briefly? Sorry, it's a bit of a sore spot for me. I'd rather not talk about it. Tabitha, the man is stalking me. It's fine. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Is that right, Tabitha? That's quite a declaration, Tabitha. I don't need to dig up painful memories to make sure of that. Well, do you know Sybil well? Everyone in town knows her, but I don't know if anyone actually knows her well. Why did you hire Janie? Pearl Ann hired Janie. She was my babysitter before she started cleaning the estate. Thanks for taking me out here. Your phone buzzes before Tabitha has a chance to respond. Almost forgot, it's Mayor Jimmy Day! Okay. Good excuse to head over to the library. We should check in with Oscar and Rosalina. Meet y'all there in half an hour. I totally blanked on that. Been having a weird / foggy morning. That right. Wild that they're still doing the Mayor Jimmy thing even after last night. Do you think news has spread yet? But yeah, we should go see Oscar. See y'all soon. Somebody's popular. Gotta meet the dog mayor and tell him there's a curse on the town. You're joking, right? At least you know the mayor is a dog. Tabitha takes another sip of her soda, smirking. Everyone knows it's our family that holds the power in this town. Still, sounds like it could be kind of fun. Even I can admit it's funny watching everyone fawning over the little guy in his mayor getup. And if Stella's gonna be there... Yeah, count me in. We can finish our sodas and head over. Just got an achievement for spending some quality time with Tabitha called I Can Fix Her. Fuck you mean I can fix her? The fuck's that supposed to mean? I can fix her. What rot. The sooner you let go of nonsensical ideas like fixing people, the better off you'll be. How do I look? It's been a while since I've been out in public like this. I'm kind of nervous. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a furious woman making a beeline for you and Tabitha. Becca slinking behind her. This must be her mother. Ah, crap. Well, Tabitha, don't look now, but seems like you were right to be nervous. Tabitha, someone's coming. What? Excuse me, Miss Scarlet? Can I help you? Becca stares at you from a distance as the furious woman tears into Tabitha. This must be her mother. So I gathered. Went crying home to mommy, eh? What the hell do you think you're doing down here, grinning like a buffoon after everything that happened last night? What, you mean last night when she ventured down into the abandoned mines to rescue your child? The fuck you expect her to do, mope? A mine collapse almost killed my poor, sweet, innocent child. And you thought it was a good idea to retaliate by demoting my husband? Oh yes. She was the one with the dad who gave her dangerously bad advice that nearly got her killed. Not nearly got her and other children killed. And us. Gee, I wonder why she thought it was a good idea to demote your husband. We've gotten used to a new lifestyle. You can't just take that away from us for something that was your fault. Oh, but you see, she can and she will. Because you see, despite your protestations about it being all her fault, she wasn't the one that actively encouraged your child to go into an abandoned mine and nearly get herself killed. Don't think I won't be pressing charges. Mom, please, you're embarrassing me. Shut up, Becca. Mommy is advocating for you. Your husband told your daughter it was safe to go into that mine. Of course he was demoted. I'm right here. Even if he did, it wouldn't have mattered if the entrance to that mine was actually secured. There'll be hell to pay, Tabitha Scarlet. What legal grounds do you think you even have? There are signs, the place was boarded up, I did my legal duty, and you don't have a leg to stand on, so don't try to threaten me. Mom, can we just go, please? If I were you, I'd listen to your brat. You haven't heard the last from us, you'll see. You shouldn't talk to your daughter like that. It's bad parenting. I'm right here. Oh, I've heard about you. What could you possibly know about being a parent? My Becca has never done anything wrong in her life. Well, first of all, I am a parent. Not in the game, I don't think, but... And second of all, clearly you know jack shit yourself. Never done anything wrong. Fuck off. If you've got a problem with Tabitha, you've got a problem with me. Are you threatening me? When I get a lawyer, he's going to have a field day with you two. Just ignore her, Tabitha. Ignore me? Your cousin ruined my life. When I get a lawyer, he's going to have a field day with you, Tabitha Scarlet. Let's go with this, because it makes her look as stupid as I can make her look. The woman storms off just as quickly as she'd stormed in, Becca following at a distance. Wow. What a cunt. God damn it. She's right. Fuck you mean she's right? I don't think she said a single thing that was right that entire conversation. I can't just hang around town the day after something like that. It doesn't look right. God fucking damn. In a sane world, a fucking mine owner venturing into a rickety old abandoned mine to save a bunch of kids would make her the goddamn hero of the day. Not this bullshit. I should be up there, even if it's just to oversee what's going on. If I'm supposed to run this place, I've got to get my head in the game. I can't slip up like this again. Tabitha sighs, straightening up. Her scowl returns. Stay out of trouble. I'll see you at the library tonight. Your cousin turns and heads back to her car, leaving you alone on Main Street. God fucking damn it. And the day was going so well. Well, up until that bullshittery, I'd say the cousin bonding time went pretty well. Although it's a shame I never got a chance to tell her about the strike. Maybe later. Alright then, without any further ado, I have been Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And remember, dislike the video, unsubscribe if you're for some reason subscribed, and leave a nasty comment in the comment section down below. Fuck you all so much for watching, and so long, suckers.
You're gonna be okay, kid.